Hey, hey. Welcome everybody to another episode of Push to Talk. Yes, you're here with us in 2025. I'm sure I'm going to screw this up many, many times over the next month or two. I hope everyone's doing well. We have Erik here.
Nope, we don't. Erik's dead. He ate too spicy of food.
Too spicy?
Oh, there we go. There's Erik.
I'm here. I didn't know you want me to talk. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's fine. And we have Dawn here as well.
Yep.
It is Saturday, the 4th of January, 2025, by the way. If you guys do not realize this, I am celebrating with casting off the chains of imperialism and being set free to wander the various different halls of New Eden as part of the initiative. So,
do you want to explain for those who may not understand what you're talking about?
No, I'm just going to leave it as that. People could wonder and guess and figure that shit out for themselves. So what's basically happened is the initiative were essentially removed all of their blue standings as of the 1st of January this year. So it's been kind of funny. And you know what? Like, I had a prediction as to how Reddit would react to that kind of thing, and it's been pretty much like bang on, to be honest. It's part of it is oh, you're not neutral enough. And then there's like, a lot of people who are basically taking a lot of, battle reports and saying, basically doing a compare and contrast and saying, oh, you're clearly not blue, blah, 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 blah. Right. So, I mean, you clearly haven't, set neutral standings, etc. Because you're not killing enough of each other's stuff. Because for whatever reason, I think, when two former allies, reset their standings, somehow people expect a massive fucking war to start off and people to just be going at each other like hammer and tongs. But like, that's not how that works.
It's only been 4 days and there's been a couple spits and spats.
Yeah, as there would be with, people who are neutral who don't live next to each other anymore. Someone was saying like mentioning about like how, oh, INIT haven't dread bombed goons yet. It's like, well, one, goons just moved across the map. Two, if you look at the actual kind of jump the jump route between where we live and where you guys live, it's quite a few midpoints to get there with a dread. And thirdly, yeah, we don't have a dread cache there because we haven't needed to have a dread cache there. So like, why would we have put a dread cache there, for almost literally no reason?
Well, you did have one there when P-Horde was there.
Yeah, but we either used them up or moved them because they weren't there anymore and there was no reason to have them there. That's one of the reasons why we had the dread cache that we used up north. Like, it was a bunch of dreads that we essentially didn't need anymore because a lot of our regular dreads were being marketed to faction dreads and pirate dreads. So it's just one of those things, and it's just funny how like Reddit's just fucking on this tirade of like, I got a lot of people are on this tirade of like, oh, you're not neutral enough. You know, you have to kill more of each other's stuff. Like that
Okay.
specifically means that you're neutral.
How is the Winter Co. P-Horde reset gone?
I mean, that seems to be a bit more fruitful in terms of the battle reports, I guess. But then again, you know, Winter Co. is very, very flush with cash. You know,
Yeah, but like, have they been spitting and spatting, or are they just?
I think so. I mean, it seems like that. It seems like they're spitting and spatting to some degree.
Now we're just like in it to fight Winter Co. and then P-Horde and goons just kind of stay over there.
We killed like almost 4 trillion of their trillion of their stuff like the other day.
That's true.
You know, and that's the thing. That's the thing when you know when a group is extremely rich, right? When you kill 3 faction titans and a faction supercarrier, and some some spare rando fucking titans that are literally footnotes to that battle report, which is that's just how insane that battle report is. And they turn around and be like, yeah, you know, I'm just going to buy some more. It's fine. You know, when a group turns around and is just like, nah, it's just fine. You know, good, you know, GG's, you know, fun fight.
Well, individual wealth that was lost, right? Not alliance wealth.
Yeah, it was individual wealth because all, you know, pretty much all titans and stuff that are used in countering attacks on, you know, radders and miners and that kind of thing are generally personal use titans that people have. You know, you're not having people being handed titans from the you know, corporation hangars and stuff like that in order to do it, because you need, you know, fast response, right? So yeah, they are personal wealth titans and stuff like that. But as we have always said in this on this show, you know, when it comes to titans are strategic assets. You know, no matter how they're used, no matter how someone individually, personally uses them, they are technically, you know, a group's strategic assets, because the more titans you have, the more menacing your ultimate escalation actually ends up being. And if you have the highest and largest escalation of the area, then you generally tend to dominate, because when it comes to escalating a fight, everybody knows in that area that they can't out-escalate you. So it ends up becoming basically a cutting your losses situation, you know, when it comes to fighting somebody. You know, if you're in it for the long haul, you know, if you're just doing like drive-by style guerrilla-y warfare kind of thing, then yeah, you can kind of, you don't need to sort of go up that escalation path. But like, if you're going to basically plant a flag and say, this is our shit, and somebody with a larger super fleet comes in, then, you know, that flag is going to be removed at some point. So
now Dirk's not here yet. Do we want to talk about our New Year's activities now, or wait till he gets here?
I mean, Slotty, you can catch up, so it's fine. Like, we can talk about whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
My New Year's involved ham and potatoes and playing some cards, and then staying up to just see the ball drop and then going to bed immediately.
That's fair. Mine wasn't exactly that. Mine wasn't exactly that, like, you know, amazing in any way, shape, or form. It wasn't like a fucking party, whatever. But Eric, what was your New Year's like?
It was a very, very nice dinner at a lovely Italian restaurant near us. So it was great.
Lovely.
And then came home and hung out with the wife until the ball dropped. Then we went to bed. And then up the next morning for a traditional good luck dinner consisting of lots of sauerkraut, pork roast,
Did you have black-eyed peas?
no black-eyed peas, pork roast, sauerkraut, dumplings, mashed potatoes, all the bad stuff for you. And we have been eating leftovers every day for dinner ever since, and it's still yummy because we only make it and eat it once a year.
Nice.
So hey, it was good, you know. And I wish all the folks watching a very happy New Year and a great 2025. Right?
Mm-hmm. That's great, dude. I was just, chilling back with the sort of the crowd of bad posters. And we were kind of just celebrating the new year the way that we normally generally tend to celebrate the new year, which is, chill out for like 5, 6, 7 hours with each other and, celebrate every single time that a particular time zone goes through the new year, that kind of thing. So, and then generally have alcohol and random drunk kind of conversations with each other that go on till like 5, 6 in the morning or something of that form. So,
I did pop in with you guys every now and then.
Yeah, it was cool. We saw it. It was cool. Everyone got to hear that you were doing well, so that's awesome.
Yeah, the most recent update is I've been on these hard antibiotics for, weeks, and they've been giving me a horrible breakout, irritation / rash. Ooh. And it just got worse and worse and worse. Started off just on my back. Mm-hmm. And then, so we thought maybe that was just related to, some fabric or something. But then it started spreading to my arms, my ears, my legs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So and it just getting itchier and itchier, and I'm scratching myself like crazy. So this week, I just we asked the pharmacist, is this normal to be broken out for like 2 weeks straight? And they're like, no. So right now my one of my doctors once wanted me to stay on IV antibiotics for another week. And I was like, I can't do that. I will go crazy. Yeah. I'm, miserable. So she ended up taking a few days off. So we saw a different doctor in the same place. And she's like, yeah, you shouldn't be, we've got some other options we can look at. So they're like, just take the weekend to take a break and see if it calms down. And it has been. I mean, I'm still a little itchy all over, but do you know what it's like to just lay there for like 4 hours at night and just different spots in your body just feels like pins and needles, and you're trying your best to not scratch everywhere?
It's horrible. I know. I get hay fever. I know it's obviously, it doesn't compare, right? It clearly doesn't compare. But like hay fever, you still do get like, especially if it's like a severe reaction. Yeah, I do have that. I do experience that kind of like just almost irresistible desire to want to like scratch or itch or like rub, like say your eyes or something like that. Like, and yeah, it's fucking horrible. So I can't imagine how bad that is kind of transposed to like your entire body. That must be fucking horrible.
Yeah, and we could put, a hydrocortisone cream or some, creams on to calm it down, but that only lasts a couple hours. And it's my whole body. Yeah. I don't have patience to just slather up everything.
You just need like a fucking vat of that stuff, like a bath, and just like fucking.
Well, if it came in like, how sunscreen now has an aerosol spray.
Yeah.
Instead of if it came like that, where you could spread it around very quickly, it wouldn't be that bad, right? Yeah. I could handle that.
Yeah.
But like when I felt my ears being bumpy and super hot, I was like, nope, I'm done. Take me off this. I'm not taking any more.
Mm.
I was like, Because
Yeah, as Starstream kind of says, and obviously you should kind of obviously be a bit cautious about anecdotal and sort of like non medical advice or medical advice from non-medical people kind of thing. But yeah, it does seem like it sounds like it's a bit of an allergic reaction to it, like not massively like significant allergic reactions, but like a mild reaction to some kind of thing.
I think it's more of just a sensitivity, because the rash started in the hospital about a week after, being there. I just never went down and just got worse and worse and worse. So I haven't had any antibiotics, which they need to put me back on some because I still have an abscess inside my body that we're fighting.
Okay.
But they're like, we're just gonna give your body a break. Like, yeah, okay, good.
That is the more serious kind of thing that you need to deal with. But like, I think you do need to give your body a bit of a break. Otherwise, it's just going to be exhausted, and an exhausted body is just, not conducive to actually fighting off infection in any way, shape, or form, even if you do have antibiotics. So
I almost cried in the appointment because the doctor, the one that was like substituting in, she first starts off with like, well, sometimes there's no other option. You just have to, put up with the annoyance. And I almost cried because I wanted to be like, no, there are many other antibiotics out there. Okay. Yeah. I know that this one works, is the one that you want to use. But she was just kind of more going like, well, sometimes we only have no options, and sometimes we have lots of options.
So there's also a kind of thing of like, you have to remember that like sometimes doctors have to deal with people who make a mountain out of the tiniest fucking molehill, and so they have to kind of also judge how much how uncomfortable you're at, like what kind of what level of uncomfortableness that you're in with this sort of stuff. So I think I hope they gauged a reaction from that, like properly, and kind of gone, maybe we might need to actually take this seriously.
When I pulled up my shirt to show my back, she was like, oh.
Yeah. That's visual indicator is always also a very good one for getting your point across to a doctor as well.
Yeah, well, because we've had so many appointments, we have more coming up. I mean, I'm glad my hospital's taking it seriously, but it's exhausting.
Yeah.
But my favorite part is, so we went into an appointment yesterday for the rash. And then I was like, hey, since we're here, let's just stop off at these other locations and get some other services done without appointments. We just kind of rolled around the hospital and got a couple of things taken care of.
I haven't had a CAT scan in a while. Let's do that, shall we?
Yeah. I just wheeled around and I was just like, yeah, so this part's coming off over here. Can you tape that back down? And then, okay. So, I've got this big incision on my stomach. It's probably about 12 inches long, right? And it's healing up pretty well. But there's two spots that are like, where like the staple may have came undone during healing. And so like they're still open, I guess, wounds, you would say.
Okay.
And, we didn't really get a ton of instruction on taking care of them other than just cover them up. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And my mom isn't a nurse. She's, wants to make sure I'm healthy. So they're like, yeah, we'll have wound care, set up an appointment with you. Well, they called me once and then never returned my calls all week. So I was like, we're going over there. Yeah. So I was like, we're wheeling in there, right? Meow. And my mom, first they were like, well, we've got an appointment available on the 17th. And I looked around, I'm like, I'm going to be healed by then. That doesn't seem very useful.
No.
And then they're like, can you do the 7th? I was like, well, A, why didn't you offer that first? And B, we have appointments on the 6th and the 8th already. I'm not coming in on the 7th too. We just need to we just have a question on how to clean out, make sure the wound stays clean. We don't need you to like look at it. And we weren't Karens, but we were just kind of pointing out like, you're not really helping us. Can you please just answer some fucking questions?
Yeah.
The charge nurse on the floor or whatever was like, oh yeah, I can answer a couple questions real quick. And then she ran off to the supply closet and brought us back a bag of free stuff of like more bandages and shit. And I was like, cha-ching, I'm getting my value out of this.
Oh yeah. You set up your own pharmacy at the end of this.
You would think, oh my God, you have no idea. Keep growing. More pills. Do you know how expensive getting IV antibiotics is?
I mean, I can't imagine over there. Like,
okay, to give you an idea of the cloud, after insurance, they say that each bulb that I get, because they're like little balls, is $56, and I had 3 a day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know how that's getting billed. No one's asked me for a card or for money yet. And I'm like, well,
and they won't.
I know, eventually they will.
No, not really. Not as much as you think.
And then they wanted to put me on a blood thinner because my leg's all swollen and there's little teeny tiny clots in my tiny veins.
Oh yeah, you'll be yeah.
Not a ton of them, but there's a little bit, right? So my dad goes to the farm. It took like 3 days to get the prescription to go through just because of system glitches, which was fun. Listening to my mom, Karen, on the phone about it a bit. She's like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, yes, it is, Mom. So my dad goes to the pharmacy. They get the prescription ready. And my insurance is like, we don't want to pay for it.
Can they do that?
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think they can just like, decide on that front.
Oh no, the insurance companies have nurses that haven't been practicing for the last 15 years to make those determinations. And so then you have to fight them. So I want you to guess for a 30-day supply, McLeod, how much my blood thinner would be.
Oh,
depends on which blood thinner you're on.
A 30-day supply.
Are you on the good one or the bad one?
I'm assuming the good.
I don't know. Are you on the one the one of the two that you have to get blood tests to check your levels, or is it just the one you take the pill twice a day?
A pill twice a day.
You're on the good one.
Okay.
By the way, that company has a coupon. You'll get it for $10 a month. I got a 30-day supply of it.
Can you send that to me?
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, look it up for me.
Where it's at. Yeah,
because we didn't get offered a coupon. I'll tell you that.
Well, otherwise, that's probably about $60 a month, right?
No, that's why I want you to guess. Guess how much it was without insurance.
It'd probably be
without insurance first, and then without insurance.
Without insurance.
Just guess that
probably
first.
A 4x from that, so like 240 or 280.
Okay, Erik, do you have a guess? And if anyone in chat has a guess, I can't see chat, but
I'm gonna go 400 on that one.
Okay. Socially obsolete is saying 4K a month.
It is $1,000.
Fucking hell.
For a 30-day supply.
Dude, you could get
thinking
Monjaro for that.
I thought I was being liberal in the pricing there, it's not $10, but it's 60. Okay, well let's 4x this, for a decent profit. Oh wait, no, it's not 4x. It's fucking, it's ludicrously more. Jesus Christ.
So now, the pharmacist called the insurance, fought with them, and got them to cover it. Now, how much do you think it was for a 30-day supply with insurance?
It should be $60. That should be the max on that one.
Okay, you think 60, McLeod? Any guesses?
I mean, I'm gonna say probably over. Now that 1K, like 1,000, has knocked me completely. So now I'm probably going to be overestimating, so I'm probably going to be like 200.
$150.
Still
Wow, your
too much.
non-formulary is high on your insurance.
Yeah. So that's why, like, if you got a coupon, I will happily take a coupon or something, use something to help out with that cost. But it's like, damn. Now I only have to be on it for 3 months. But I was like, 3 months? That's $450 fucking dollars.
No, you're going to have to be on it until they do a
Test.
what do you call it? They'll look at your leg and make sure that they're gone. And then they have to do the blood. Then they have to do the blood test. They have to do 2 blood tests because the only reason to get blood clots in your leg, one is the bad word, cancer. The other one is that you have the gene that predetermines that you're susceptible to blood clots in your legs. And
Well, Eric, remember, I just had major surgery, and that's why I have blood clots.
maybe because they're in your veins. So that's the ones, if they break up, they end up going into your lungs, right? Not into your brain.
Yeah, but these are they already did the ultrasound and determined that they are they're in these superficial, teeny tiny veins.
Yeah.
They're not in the major arteries or anything like that. They checked those first.
Yeah, neither were mine, but they still made me do all that crap.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Let's see. Okay.
But this is the American health system with Don Rhea.
Yeah, so let's
later today my dad and I are gonna make cupcakes.
Oh, that'll be fun. Hey, do I have your phone number, Donnie?
Maybe not. Just DM me on Discord and then I can send you a.
I was slightly concerned there, going, do not just say it on the fucking show.
Yeah,
that
would be bad.
I thought I did. I probably have your mom's. That's what I have. Yeah,
yeah, you can send it to her.
Because it's got the link for the program.
Yeah, we don't mind looking at stuff and seeing if there's any way to make things better for everybody. My mom already got to Karen at some customer service because they didn't do some returns. Oh yeah, Amazon didn't do returns properly. And she had to fight.
Yeah. That sucks. Yeah. Well, they would say that, you know, this time of the year it's they you know, have a lot of
she returned
stuff that they have to deal with.
The seller sent her 2 sets of shoes of the wrong size. So my mom took them to Whole Foods to return. And 3-4 weeks later, she still hadn't got the return. Like the actual money.
That's shitty. Yeah,
and apparently what happened was that it just first they said, oh, they never got them, and then she's on the chat or whatever, and finally someone went, oh yeah, they're here, they just didn't get scanned properly.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds like their issue, not your issue. But yeah, they should be they should be like fucking sorting, like if they have them back, then they should fucking be able to sort out the refund. Like, it makes no sense. They have to wait that fucking long.
Oh, being on a blood thinner scares me because I'm like, they're like, okay, don't get cut. And I'm like, okay, what size cut do I need to worry about?
Yeah.
Are we talking like a tiny little nick will never stop? Or is it like an actual like cut, you know, like a gash or something that is the actual problem?
Look, just don't get disemboweled and you'll be fine, all right? Like,
you know, I think I can try to handle that. Actually, I do have a giant cut along my stomach, so I don't know. Technically, I could.
Yeah, but that was done very carefully and for exacting reasons, not just as a haphazard, like, I think we need this.
Well, they kind of had to go exploring around because they couldn't find my appendix. And then they found out that it basically turned into this weird mass, on my intestine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a good thing to have happen.
Nah,
Yeah.
but it can only happen once.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. You only have one appendix, and once that's fucked, then that's that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should change my background kind of coloring from blue to red. I can't change it to neutral because neutral is just like white, and that'll just look like shit.
Why I gotta wait?
Well, you go to red in February for Valentine's.
Oh yeah, I could do that. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could do purple, which is in between blue and red.
Hey, good job.
NPSI fleets. I guess.
By the way, Don, I copied that
into.
Yeah, I copied that into Discord for you.
Yes, I did see that.
There's that 800 number to call.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think my parents just need to get prescribed it, and then they can get Medicare to just pay it.
This is not working. I'll sort it out later.
One of our family friends is on the same thing for life, basically, and I'm like, well, then just have him give me his supply, and then he can go to the pharmacy and be like, I'm an old man, my pills fell down in the toilet, something like that, right?
I don't know if that works that way, but okay.
What are they gonna do? Be like, nope, sorry, you have to wait till next month.
That'd be a bit shitty.
Yeah, that's one when in like 2 or 3 days it wears out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go right back on it. It's so much better than like the warfarins and all that other stuff because you have to get blood tests routinely to make sure that you're at the right levels with that.
Well, getting blood out of me is real easy. I got an IV in my arm, so.
Oh, you still have an IV in?
Yeah, I've got a PICC line.
Ooh.
I don't know what one of those is, but like
it's basically an IV. It's a port they put into your arm, and it goes to just before your heart.
Oh, okay. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I got to watch them do it while they were doing it.
Oh God, I don't know whether that's good or bad. Like I think that's.
Well, they had like a 72-inch TV over me for the doctor to look at, and it just had, and then they've got an X-ray above me, and so it's just doing kind of like a live feed, and you watch the little wire poking around in my chest, and he's just getting it positioned where he wants it. And I was like, well, this is weird.
That must be really strange. God damn.
It was a lot of fun. I love anatomy, so I wasn't like I would have enjoyed it more if I hadn't been laying on that cold hard table for 35 minutes waiting for him to get there.
Apparently when I was young I had to wait like an hour and a half with a broken arm when I was really young for the doctor to get back from from golfing.
Well, mine was doing a CAT scan. I'm like, you don't need a doctor for a CAT scan, you assholes.
Well, I mean, they could. So
I know I was in them.
So when I was young, basically the situation, the issue that was kind of annoying was, I was obviously pretty young when I broke my arm, and at the hospital, the nurses could not give any painkillers whatsoever. So I had to sit there with a broken arm for about an hour and a half till a doctor could actually get into the hospital because it was a Sunday. And, back then on a Sunday in South Africa, doctors were not really, didn't really have too many like things to do in hospitals. So they kind of went golfing most of the time. And so they had to get one off the golf course, come back to the hospital in order to actually prescribe painkillers and start to actually help like the process and everything like that. So it was just it was obviously kind of a thing that I know from my parents talking about it, but I think the pain, I think my brain has blocked that particular kind of memory from me because of the pain.
You're like, I'm repressing, and it's repressed. Yay!
Yay! I don't recall it whatsoever, just from anecdotal knowledge. That's all. Oh, yeah. So, don't break your arm and not get painkillers for an hour and a half. That's not a great idea.
Hey, I went through my entire hospital stay without an opioid, a full opioid.
I mean, that's probably a good idea because, like, opioids in America, like,
I had tramadol, which is it's related, but it's not as harsh as Dilaudid would be.
oh, okay.
And I only had that a couple times in ICU just because I didn't think Tylenol was gonna, cut it.
So you guys have this is the thing. The thing that's kind of awkward for a Brit over here versus hearing US names for various different medications and stuff is you have different names for all sorts of different things. It's a lot like food as well. You have cilantro, we have coriander, for example, right? It's where the fuck did you get cilantro from?
Oh, sounds Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. we could probably delve into that in some way, shape, or form, but I don't know. I just when you talk about the various different medications that you're on, I'm like, I've never heard of those in my life. I just know that sort of
Don't worry,
opioids.
I haven't heard of most of it either.
No, that's fair. Okay, from Bob from marketing.
My sister-in-law gave me a back scratcher, and it has been a godsend because I can reach my legs, because I can't move my legs up to meet my hands very easily in most positions, and so I'm able to scratch my legs. Oh, it feels so good.
I think Screaming PCs on opioids.
I mean, some people have to be all the time because of their pain. I have decided I cannot be an invalid. This sucks.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough sitting around.
I need to be able to. I don't like walking a ton, but not being able to really get up and just do what I want to do without great effort sucks dick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Cloud, just so you know,
lacking of independence really sucks.
Yeah. Pop a pill and chill, says Screaming PC.
It sounds like opioids to me.
By the way, I did look up the cilantro coriander debacle.
Oh, right. Okay.
And cilantro is Spanish, but it refers to the leaves, and coriander is the seed.
Well, you get coriander seed, yeah, but over here you have coriander. When you talk about coriander, it's the plant, stem and leaf, right? Whereas when we talk about the seed, we literally refer to it as coriander seed.
Also, Dirk saying he's going to be late is a lie. He's not coming. Like a fucking loser, I know it.
He did say he would be late.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's on his way home, and chances are he's gonna get caught in a fucking blizzard. I know this is how I feel, and I feel like it's gonna be. I don't think it's blizzard conditions out there yet in any way, shape, or form, but we're on our way in the UK at least. It's gonna be happening sometime soon. Probably not in the span of this show, but
I'm gonna give
it's
a
coming.
joke. We're supposed to get 6 to 9 inches tonight.
I know Norway got a shit ton earlier on today. Last night / today, yeah.
And we're supposed to get a bunch of snow tomorrow. So my dad's like, okay, gotta go get French toast ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Stuffed
Hey?
French toast is what you want, baby.
No,
French-
banana bread, French toast.
French. Okay, you're gonna have to explain that a little bit, and the reasonings for doing that, like when snow arrives. Is that a thing?
So every time it's gonna blizzard, everyone's like, "Okay, got to get milk, eggs, and bread
And toilet paper.
and toilet." Well, yeah. That's just like everyone's natural like blizzard reaction is to go get some perishables. And so to make French toast, you use milk and egg, and you dip the bread in it. So it's like, okay, French toast ingredients. But banana bread French toast is amazing. Definitely try it.
Interesting. I might have to check that out. Yeah.
We'll do the stuffed French toast where you get like, a jam or jelly or something and take 2 pieces and you make a little French toast sandwich when you cook them. The berries type filling inside.
Interesting.
You could just put the berry stuff on top of French toast.
You can do that too. I'm just saying
That would save you all that effort of trying to stuff it.
I'm
Now
just
you're
saying,
just making it complicated.
Hey, I didn't make it up. IHOP did, okay? The International House of Pancake.
Yeah,
IHOP.
and they don't know shit about French toast.
Oh,
They
that's
make
fucking
stuffed
IHOP.
French toast. IHOP, baby. The International.
Yeah,
By the way,
the
who is it?
International House of Pancakes, where they only have where all of their outlets are in America.
I know. Who is it?
How easily they could lie. Like, we're international. Really? Are you? Yes, our headquarters are in Toronto, probably.
Dennis Miller, the comedian, actually, probably decades ago at this point, he had like the International House of Pancakes. So he had a whole skit on it. IHOP is, it's terrible. I would never go. I will go to a Waffle House before I go to an IHOP, baby.
Waffle House is good.
You stick to everything, but it's lovely.
What's interesting is my Dutch friend, when he first came to the U.S., I did take it. He wanted breakfast, and so we went to IHOP one morning, and he was like, I think it was me, yeah, and he fucking loved it. That was his. But when he was leaving, his like last day, I was like, okay, is there anything you wanted to eat again or try again? And he's like, I want to go back to IHOP. I was like, you fucking weirdo. You picked the one shitty ass restaurant, but he loved IHOP. He's like, pancakes are amazing. They were so much better than ours because Dutch pancakes are not. They're okay, but they're not a pancake.
If memory serves me correctly, aren't English pancakes different too, McLeod?
English pancakes are. I don't think we have a specific kind of like style of pancakes. Like we have like Scotland does have a sort of a stylish of pancake. I don't think we really do. I'm thinking like the Dutch. Do the Dutch have like a specific style of pancakes? Like I think
it's big and flat. It's basically like a crepe with. Yeah. It's not quite a crepe because it is thicker, but they usually do a really big pancake, but they put a lot of weird toppings on it. So like you can get a normal one with like syrup or sugar of some kind or cream, and then you can get it with like salmon and arugula. You can get it with eggs and bacon inside it, which is okay. But like they make them kind of like lunch pancakes.
Oh, it's kind of, well, yeah, they call it like a Dutch baby. I don't know why they call it Dutch baby, like whatever.
Yeah, it's because the Dutch are weird.
The Dutch are weird.
I'm looking. We have like a.
Well, what is it? What
was the original pancake house. which used to be amazing and it's kind of sucky now.
Oh yeah. I was just thinking, like, what's the meme / the fucking funny quote for about the Dutch? It's Michael Caine in fucking Austin Powers where he's going, the only two things I can't stand in this world: people who are intolerant of other people's cultures, and the Dutch.
Dutch.
Yeah.
I love Austin Powers movies. You know, they're just awesome.
I need to rewatch them. They're fucking hilarious. I love them. First two are fantastic. I think like the third one, nah. It's always difficult to replicate that kind of like that genius sort of spark, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely some quotable kind of like decent moments in the third one for sure. But yeah, Austin Powers is great. The fact that the second one started with like, what? Who was it? Fucking Danny DeVito as Mini-Me was fucking hilarious.
You know, we were just watching. We were watching a couple episodes of Cheers over the holiday break, and Rhea Perlman, who's in that, you know, him and her are married, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know who she is, like I assume most people do. When you look at a woman who is perfectly paired to be Danny DeVito's wife, it's like, bammo, right there. That's the two of them. It's hilarious.
Wow. That is a
That just reminds me of Parks and Rec. There's a reoccurring character, Tammy, too, which is one of the characters' ex-wife.
I love those episodes.
But they're actually married in real life.
Yeah, that's the hilarious thing.
I know. Obviously, I still
play
see
up
her.
this like insane kind of like caustic relationship between them on the show, but in actual fact, they're like they're actually husband and wife. Great.
Well, and when I see her, I think of her from Will and Grace a lot too.
Oh yeah, fuck, that's a show I haven't seen for fucking like decades. I think at this point.
It's okay. You're not missed. Like
I don't feel like I'm missing much.
Funny. Yeah,
it has its moments.
We loved Will and Grace.
Yeah, it was fine. I didn't, but I was kind of young when it was going on to really watch it much.
Yeah, I was in like my mid-20s. We would watch.
That's just because you're an old man now.
I am old. I'm cool with that. Me and the wife, we make fun of each other on a regular basis. She's like, "Oh, this hurt. Oh, this hurts." I'm like, "Yeah, you're old."
I think people don't kind of like. See, I heard this from a couple of people who, you know, met me in Prague and stuff like that. But like, seems that a lot of people don't kind of don't realize that I'm 40.
40? You were like 30. I think you're like 32, maybe. You know, 28. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, you are getting a little gray in the beard, though. A little gray in the beard, I see there.
There's a little bit. Yeah. It's a little bit there. There's a little bit kind of on the kind of temples.
As I get real close and say, you know, there's just a little bit of gray in Eric's, too. Look at it. I haven't shaved in like 4 days. It's just glorious. Just like, you know.
The areas that I do shave, I have to like, you know, really go at it.
Really?
My beard has quite, you know.
Where do you shave? Where do you shave?
There.
There? Where are you pointing to? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't see your hands when you said there. We didn't know what you were pointing to. Yeah.
Literally cheeks and neck. So, obviously have to trim the beard, like, you know.
Trim the beard.
As it is, as it were. Otherwise, it just becomes like unruly and very like hobo-esque, and you don't want that.
Dude, I have to trim the eyebrows. Otherwise, I have like Ufer Hawat like fucking eyebrows, like fucking everywhere.
I have like feel like I have no eyebrows sometimes. It's fucking weird, especially when I'm looking at myself in like streams and stuff.
Mine's definitely thinned out a bit.
I'll send the daughter over there. She'll
Oh,
fill
your
those
beard.
in for you. She's got some stuff, you know. She's got stuff.
I will say, I think I lost around 20 to 30 pounds since
Wow.
in
Yeah.
November, not eating and then being in the hospital. And I've found that I can't eat as much as I did before. I get full faster. I'm like, while you
a
were
good
in
thing.
there, make my stomach smaller.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're on a reduced diet and that kind of thing, and you know, it will happen, yeah. And you will feel fuller quicker.
Is like,
But you know, you've got medical chic kind of like look.
oh yeah, my trust me, we've gone to the hospital and I'm just in this mismatched pajamas. I'm like, bitch, this is what I could get on and what's comfortable. I wore real pants yesterday though. That was a
I haven't worn real pants like in the month of December. I don't think.
You got the hospital brat look. That's what you're going for. That.
I'm trying to think. No, I probably traveled somewhere in December, so I had to wear like real pants. But you know, when you work from home, it's like, you know, you're either in shorts or sweats. You know.
Yeah.
Like today, I'm uncharacteristic. Like you're in a nice collared shirt, you look good. I'm in this like shitty little t-shirt.
Like this shirt, like I only wear this particular like polo shirt like for the show. To be fair, I should probably get one with like, you know, our logo on some way, shape, or form. If I'm only wearing it now.
Did you show off the mug that you got?
The mug. I did show the mug off like last week, but like if you haven't seen it, like that's the INIT mug that I ended up getting. Cool. It's a big mug. There's two sizes, and I went for the larger size.
Large mug.
I'd rather have a larger mug than a fucking tiny mug, so I went, sorry, I'll get the 15-ounce one.
Yeah, that's one of those things, you know, like, you know, back when we were in college, back in the day, and what was it? That Swedish freaking coffee, Gevalia. Always did that, and they like, oh yeah, we'll buy our mugs. It's like, and they're like European coffee mugs, so they're like, you know, slightly larger than an espresso thing, right? Yeah, I mean, it's like,
oh, it's a large egg mug, egg cup. Thank you very much. Like,
yeah, no, I'm like, get the fuck out of here, okay? We have giant fucking mugs.
This is what I would consider to be like this size mug is what I would consider to be basically like. At least over here in the UK, would be like a medium to large, like from a coffee place, like a Costa's or a Starbucks. But like I think over in the US, this would be like a medium.
It kind of depends on where you go, but yeah.
Because like everything's fucking bigger in America, especially when it comes to coffee. Like you order a large coffee and you basically get like, you know, a fucking truck getting delivered to your, you know, one of those fucking like tanker trucks get delivered to your house. Like, where do you want your coffee? Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Beep, 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 beep. Back it into the driveway. Yeah.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Did you guys ever see the TikTok or whatever of this girl's like, look, you can put an entire bottle of wine in a grande cup. So she had like one of the large cups from Starbucks and poured an entire 750 milliliter bottle of wine, or however big the bottle of wine is, into the cup. It fit. And she's like, now no one knows that I'm a wino at school. They think I'm just drinking coffee.
I did see the meme. Somebody pretend it's red Solo cup, which definitely doesn't have alcohol in it ever. Is a coffee mug, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, who else when they're on their Zoom or their Teams meetings blows on their wine in their coffee cup? You know, pretending your wine is hot.
There's also the classic, like, you know, gif of somebody with the novelty size glass of wine, right? Where is it?
The big pour of wine. Have we even talked about Eve today?
No. Well, we talked a tiny bit right at the start about like about the reset, but that's about it.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. I had to remind myself. Okay.
Now my mom's arguing with some other thing.
By the way, here you need one of you can't see, but I'll hold it up. You need your little pill box by the week, AM and PM.
That's what I was suggesting. It's like, do I need to get a pill caddy?
See, when I was talking, oh crap! Actually, I need to sort that out. When I was talking about the GIF, the wine GIF,
the wine GIF.
Yeah, I forgot to start OBS on my gaming PC, so it's not like streaming over to my stream PC.
There you go.
Oh, the here we go. Start streaming. That's the wine GIF. That's on about. Novelty glass of wine. I just had one glass of wine, officer. You know, like.
Oh my god, the wine like cascading over their face is like hilarious, right? Oh my god,
drenched. Just drenched.
It looks like maybe a little sangria in there. You know? Oh my god, you know it. You know it had to go like upper nose and everything. You know, tipping it back like that. Holy shit, that's hilarious.
Like, yeah, your hair's fucked as well, by the way. But yeah, she doesn't mind. But you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
By the way, we are now in a 3-minute ad break. So, you know, hey, welcome to all those subscription holders.
Hey, welcome subs. You are the fuel that keeps this channel going. Thank you very much for all of your all of your support.
There you go.
We shall actually, if we're here in the sub only kind of thing, I'm gonna choose to go through and show some of the sort of the memes that I saw on Reddit, which I thought were kind of funny.
Okay.
The INIT and Goons one, and we're blues until downtime today. After then, it gets difficult. Is a great one.
I like how the Goon dude has like, you know, the eye bag, eye cooler thing too. That's very nice. That's very stylish. Very cool.
Yeah. And obviously, of course, if you know, for balance, you know, you have the anti-INIT, anti-Imperium kind of stuff where, you know, obviously, you know, obviously PanFam and fucking Winterco going at it with nightmares and hacks and faction BCs are strong.
Yeah.
And we're like weak pussies with harpies and interceptors.
Well, you know.
Clearly, that's
you fly what you like.
Because that's not, you know, because that's not just, you know, a really bad fucking take on like what the fuck was actually going on. Like, if you wanted to fight with nightmares and hacks and faction BCs, fight with them. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, if you want to fight with those, then fight with those. If you don't want to fight with those, don't fight with those. Like, you're not like proving anything by fighting with big fucking ships then compared to small fucking ships. Like, you know, I don't know. It's just fucking annoying. It's just fucking stupid. And I found something out, and I hope that Fluffy's here. But we found a video of his setup.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's check that out.
Yeah. It's his high-sec mining setup.
Nice.
Oh, there you go. That's very nice. Very nice. You know, there are data centers that don't have a setup that good.
He's got a few clients going.
Yeah, just a couple.
You know, there's obviously he can do more because like he's got like all of these still to go as well. So like he's got at least 6 that he can still run.
Yeah.
You know.
Fire up a few more VMs, he'll be good.
Yeah. You know. Oh, he's got 9 going. Sorry, 9, not 6.
All right, I must run off for my meeting. Thank Thanks for hanging out.
alrighty.
Oh shit, they're
Thanks, we're
forcing
glad-
you to go to meetings now, are they?
Yeah,
Well,
I've
I'm
been-
glad you feel better.
Listen, I haven't missed a single meeting yet.
That's impressive.
3 days after surgery, I was listening to one. So
There you go.
Well, at least they weren't like, forcing you to present anything, which is good.
yeah. Have a good day, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Oh, thank you very much for
All
hanging
right.
out. Yeah. So there's been a few memes like rocking about it on Reddit.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which obviously that was going to happen considering, the situation that's gone down at the start of this month. I think it's been fine. Like at this point in time, it's been fine. I'm not sure how how agitated and annoyed the line members of the Imperium are at INIT poking into Imperium space and like shooting up a bunch of things. But
shit happens.
I always thought, right? Sorry.
Think about how it happened, right? And go back to, last time. What was it? Probably the most recent was Test, right? Test does it, and it's like, kind of, fuck you, we're gonna blow you up and destroy you, and blah 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 blah. And then, this whole INIT thing is, well, we're just unbluing people. Everybody knows when it's gonna happen. That's the difference between, I guess, the abrasive, challenging way to do it and the, hey, we're trying to have fun in the game and do it.
Yeah, well, the thing is,
I think it just leaves a different taste in your mouth when it happens that way.
The thing is, I think when tests were down south, and we had like a non-invasion, like I think it was a non-invasion pack and NIP,
right,
at the time.
NIP, yeah.
We're between Test and Imperium, like that doesn't mean that you can't shoot each other, right? And
right,
yeah, fair enough. And it did take a bit of advantage of that in terms of like shooting raw calls and such things, but that was because it was a fun thing to do because we could guarantee that they would escalate that to supers and stuff, and it was it was a fun time because you could always count on them to have a fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it comes to INIT sort of shooting raw calls and such things, like for the most part, right, for the large majority of the FCs that go and take a gang over to to shoot a raw call, like we don't technically want the raw call. The raw call, if you don't come and save the raw call, then the raw call is kind of like a consolidation prize, right, for us. It's like okay, so you didn't come bring the fight, and so the sort of like the consequence of you not bringing the fight is you're going to lose. One of your members are going to lose a raw call too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for the majority of it, like we're there to sort of poke the bear and like get a fight because the fight is the enjoyable and entertaining thing for the most, for the large majority of the people in the fleet and for the FC, because the FC can get to like practice escalation theory and understand and know how that particular group fights. And it's also good for upcoming FCs knowing and learning how to fight a force with somewhat limited intelligence about them, right? So it's one of those things where it's like it is a net gain, but people do start to get a bit riled up after a while, and that kind of did happen with Test. And so that's where the kind of like the nip slip thing kind of happened. Nip slip being the non-invasion pact sort of slip, which was essentially like, God, I can't even. I don't recall the specifics, but like somebody decided to, try and shoot like a bunch of I think reinforced a bunch of things, right? And I think it was less about actual invasion and more about like, if we're going to come to your space and poke about a bit, then there needs to be at least some degree of consequences if you're not going to form.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, I think in that situation, you kind of went like, if you're not going to form, you're not going to fight, you're just going to sit in station and like twiddle your thumbs and just hope that we're going to fucking go away, then there has to be some degree of consequence to that. And I think the thing is like, probably Pando like reinforced a couple of structures, like not massively critical structures in any way, shape, or form. But that was not seen as being, overly diplomatic. So that's where the whole nip slip thing came, because it was like, oh, they're clearly trying to invade us, etc., etc. And this was coming off the back of Test having said that they were going to reset standings. So it wasn't a case of like, we weren't going to reset standings, but you guys shot a bunch of our like structures. Now we are going to reset. Like, they'd already said that they were going to reset before then. And then they kind of, and then intel came from Black Hand about the fact that, that Villy and ProGod had been talking to, PanFam and stuff about, starting a fucking massive war and trying to run Imperium out of the game, or Goons specifically out of the game, and hopefully kill Imperium at the same time. And, so that's where the whole fucking, Vietnam War / whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like, we call it Vietnam War because we weren't the aggressors. They were the aggressors. We, yet they lost eventually, kind of thing. And it does have a degree of parallel to Vietnam. So that's where that's where the name kind of comes from. Whereas, if you're Pan-Fam aligned in some way, shape, or form, then chances are you call it the what do they call it again? Chat, help me out. The fuck they call it?
The losers
again?
don't get to name anything.
It's number 2. They call it like whatever
World
the fuck.
War B2.
Oh yeah, that's it. Well, they call it World War B2, which is just like dumb. Because it's just like that's just like fucking just make a fucking effort, right? Like, oh yeah. So I guess the next war that they're going to have with Imperium in some way, shape, or form is going to be World War B3, and it's just going to continue until that. Like,
Yeah.
It's just it. Yeah, it saddens me that like, a group that size has the sort of the creativity to name something, and they land on World War B2. It's dumb. But hey, whatever fits a narrative or whatever kind of gets stuck in their, their pilots' heads. I guess. So, yeah. I don't see anything like that happening with this reset, because we're not antagonizing people.
Yeah, I mean, it's different.
Like significantly, and we're not basically, we don't have ulterior motives with resetting, like the ulterior motives against Imperium in any particular way, shape, or form. We're doing it literally as a proactive way to sort of hopefully fix some stuff in the game, or at least make the game more interesting, but not in a massive fucking nullsec war kind of interesting. Just to see what would happen if the the nullsec kind of landscape is not just a sort of just one and the other, but it's actually like a sort of like a trifecta, I guess. I mean, so Starstream, like Russian Metanoxes in Stain, like Stain for one, Stain is NPC, right? 2, they're Russian Metanoxes, so who really cares? And 3, like, you know, people were, you know, talking about how, you know, how they don't like the fact that Metanoxes are around because they seem to be a lack of like an overall suck on potential active player activity, right? So it's like, if we were, which I don't know, we probably were. I'm out of the loop on that particular kind of front, but if we were, is it bad? I don't think it's bad, to be honest. Like, in my opinion, that isn't a bad thing, and that shouldn't be like a controversial situation. But you know, it's not an invasion of any particular way, shape, or form.
By the way, we you know how there's a thing called, like, you know, the Microsoft Minute, right?
I haven't heard of that phrase.
Okay, so back in the day when Microsoft would install, it'd be like, you know, 5 minutes left, and then it'd go up to 10 minutes left, and then it'd go to 15, and then it'd go to 1 minute left, then it'd go to 5, right? The Microsoft Minute, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So and then of course we have you know, the Delve time unit, things we made up on the show, right? So
I've been trying to find that. I've been trying to find that on our backlog. Yeah, I can't find it. It's fucking it aggravates me so much because I fucking love the fact that we made that on the show live. Like,
and the but you know, now we need the Bargust hour, okay, and we need the Dirk a little late. So we need to define those, okay, in time. So everybody on the show knows, right? At 12:45 p.m. Eastern U.S. Coast time, which is exactly 15 minutes before the show starts, Dirk posts, "I may be a little late, just on the way home now."
Just a little late.
Yeah, a little late. And at 1 o'clock, right? Somebody pinged Bargos, you know, about his car, right? And then, you know, at 1:17 p.m., he says, you know, Bargos was out doing something. He might be back in an hour. Okay. So that would put it at 2:17 would be the hour, which we're coming up on a couple seconds here. So we're gonna see what happens. So we're gonna, you know, so out there in the audience, right? We need a little help here. We need 2 units of time, right? But you know, the Dirk hour or something like that. You know, Dirk time zone. I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll figure out something in the Barghost hour.
Well, the issue with Barghost is like, you know, he's recently bought an EV, right? And I think the thing is, when you're well seasoned, when you understand CVs, you've had an EV for a long period of time. I think you kind of know its limitations. You know its range, and you kind of know the situations where you kind of probably want to be looking for a charging point in some way, shape, or form. I think because Bard's kind of new to the EV kind of thing, I think he's like stranded on a motorway somewhere.
Well, buy the boy a diesel generator for his truck, for crying out loud, okay? Come on.
I mean, at that point, you're just at that point, you don't have an EV, you have a hybrid, right? You have a petrol or diesel driven generator that powers the batteries. That's basically a hybrid. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
and not even an efficient hybrid in that front. I don't think. At least in
I
my
will say
opinion.
that my wife's hybrid. I have a 20-gallon tank in my SUV. She has a 10-gallon tank in her hybrid. And when we drove the highway, mind you, where EVs are less efficient, right?
Mm-hmm.
She could drive as far in 10 gallons as I could drive on 20, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, smaller car, well, but it's not a RAV4. I have a Subaru Ascent, and she has some Lexus. I don't know, some Lexus hybrid that's hatchback type.
So,
Not really
another possibility of what happened to Bard is potentially that although we don't have any Trump Towers here in the UK, like we do have Alan Sugar, and who is the sort of like the guy who's like head honcho on The Apprentice in the UK, right? So I imagine he may have parked his EV, at the front of a Amstrad depot of some form, and it's probably blowing up.
Dude,
Amstrad is Alan Sugar's like company, by the way.
Okay.
You want to know?
Okay. I think
I'll have to look on BBC News to see if that's happened.
Yeah, he's doing.
This is what happens if you say that you're going to be on here and then you're not on here. Then we will make up excuses live as to why you're not here, and they will get progressively more ludicrous and ridiculous. That's how it happens. It's news. Amstrad depot EV explosion. It hasn't broken yet, apparently. BBC are still being a little bit late on that.
I'm trying to look up what are
you looking up? What are you looking up for?
What car body, generic car body my wife's car has. Doesn't really come out with a good one, but it's classified as an SUV crossover.
Oh, okay. Toyota?
Lexus, Toyota, same company.
Oh, okay. I can't remember which car company you. Oh, it's yeah. Sorry. In the UK, we call this brand Nissan. Over in the US, you guys call it Nissan. I remember hearing it first time. I was like, "What fucking company? What car is that? Like, what Nissan? Like, what?" And then, yeah, it's Nissan.
Yeah,
it's like, what the fuck is going on? Oh, Jesus.
That's one I've never owned. Never owned it.
I mean, that's not a potato situation. That's like a potato.
Hey, that's what they say on the commercials. And Toyota as a company is very interesting. They really haven't changed their ad company.
I mean, chances are I'm going to get
like 30 years
called out by some. Yeah, chances are I'm going to get called out and actually like the proper pronunciation of. I think it's a Japanese car company, right?
Nissan, yeah. I thought I read rumors somewhere. I thought I read a Wall Street Journal article, but I can't find it. There is rumor that Honda and Nissan might merge. I think I can't re-find the articles. Honda's buying them out. Okay, yeah. So Commander read the same thing I did. Yeah.
There we go.
And I'm wondering why. I mean, what does Nissan have in technology that Honda would want, right? Because Honda's such a I mean, quality car. I mean, yeah, but if they're going bankrupt, why buy them? Why carry the debt load, right?
I'm sorry. Obsolete has got me on a fucking tangent making me think like Honda-san, as in like Nissan and Honda kind of together, but like I was there thinking to myself, like, is that kind of like the Karate Kid, like Daniel-san? Kind of like,
Daniel-san.
you know, it's
Daniel-san.
Honda, it's Honda-san.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really in the Nissan, Nissan and Honda-san. Nice, socially obsolete.
Chances
Like
are
that
the
much.
actual pronunciation is probably closer to like, you know, Nissan than Nissan.
I don't know.
Because to be fair, for the longest time, we used to call Hyundai Hyundai. When in actual fact, apparently
Hyundai?
it's Hyundai. But
Yeah.
you know, I think I will probably forever call it Hyundai, even though it's fucking the bad
Hyundai.
translation.
You know, it sounds like a cooler name. I'm going to tell you.
Hyundai.
Oh, Daewoo. Yeah.
Hyundai. Yeah.
Hyundai. Hyundai. Wow. I love it.
We're not, you know, falling to really, really bad stereotypes right now. Live on stream. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, it's different when you're making fun of them because of something. I'm like sitting there going,
I mean, we're not talking about pronunciation here, right? Like, and I'm
yeah, but I'm sitting there going, Hyundai. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
You know, sounds cool. You know, it's different when you're saying it sounds stupid and dumb, right? When you're saying it sounds cool with the different pronunciations.
Yeah,
it's a very different take on it, right? But Hyundai, they're considered the high end Kia, right? And
I think so.
They are. They're the higher end Kia, and then they've got Genesis above that, right? I think they're a real high end brand.
I think because I watched a few kind of like reviews of their recent sort of EVs, the Hyundai EVs. Like they're doing really fucking good EVs apparently. Like really fucking good EVs.
Yeah, the Ioniq is particularly good and things like that. I think the Ioniq isn't it a hybrid?
They've launched a bunch of I believe they launched a bunch of EVs in South Korea recently, and they're like really good. They're really super popular over there.
Yeah, rumor has it Lexus in some of their hybrids and things are coming out with a new battery from Samsung that is supposed to be insanely good.
Some Chinese, like I've seen, like this is the thing when you see like rando kind of videos on like social media for like stuff in China, you're always a little bit like, you always have to be like, I'll take a fucking small vat full of salt with that kind of thing. So never entirely certain how legitimate it is. Like I've seen some stuff in like some videos of China EV kind of stuff where they actually have this roll on, roll off, like petrol / charging areas, right? You know, for recharging your EV, and it's not recharging your EV. It's literally you drive into this place, and then it replaces the battery with a completely charged new battery, or a completely charged battery. Maybe not new, but like it's recharged battery that gets like. The battery that's in your car gets taken out and it gets replaced with a battery that's like fully charged, and then you just drive off.
Yeah, until you get a battery that's been out there for 10 years and doesn't charge as much as your old one, right? Yeah.
Well, I imagine they do replace them eventually, like, you know, and they probably move those batteries on for like, you know, just general bulk storage of energy or something of that form, right? But like,
yeah,
you know, that's just like an extreme, like, I don't know whether it's like a logical kind of thing, considering that like a lot of battery operated stuff that we have, you know, we have battery compartments where we can take the batteries out. Like obviously not when it comes to sort of things like, you know, mobile phones or that kind of thing, or you know, high quality devices generally. But yeah, the idea of having your entire battery in your, you know, EV like just straight up changed over in a matter of like in a couple of minutes is, I just think that's insane.
Well, yeah, I mean, you then become comparable to filling your gas tank, right? A couple minutes to fill your gas tank.
Yeah, but you need
unless
to
you're at Costco where it could be a 30-minute deal, but yeah.
Well, then you need to like the issue with that is you need to standardize stuff like crazy.
Yeah, I think what was it? There's a hydrogen based car, right?
Mm.
And it has just little hydrogen cells that you could essentially hold with two hands, and you pop them right out, and you pop new ones right in, and off you go. Pretty wild.
I don't know about hydrogen. Like, I think there's tech that's definitely helping out with the whole hydrogen thing, but like, and yeah, it's used in space flight and stuff like that as well. But like, the issues with hydrogen that I've always found is like storing and the logistics of moving hydrogen everywhere is kind of really awkward because hydrogen is like the tiniest fucking atom, right? It literally squeezes itself through solid steel. Like, you can have a vessel, solid steel vessel with pressurized, or somewhat pressurized hydrogen in there, and it'll slowly depressurize because fucking hydrogen atoms literally find their way through the solid steel casing, like compartment, like the fucking pressure vessel.
Mm-hmm.
It's nuts. Like, and you think like, oh yeah, you want a place to like store like huge amounts of hydrogen in like, storage vessels. Like, you're going to be losing hydrogen constantly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of hybrid for sure. Not pure EV.
I can understand people's like apprehension to going full EV because like the in a lot of places the infrastructure just isn't there to sort of support moderate range EVs.
Yeah, and that's where I think this new Samsung battery comes into play. It's just significantly longer range for the size that it is. Yeah, it's liquid refueling. But
the thing is, if you want hydrogen to be in liquid form, you need to supercool it. So you need to have it like supercooled, which is another,
and pressurized.
Supercooled and pressurized, which are two things, right? Two things that take up energy to do. So you literally need to, just to store it, you need to, use up a fucking ton of energy. Which detracts from the fact that, like, you're looking at a way of making, creating, a more efficient way for people to transport themselves. That's basically friendlier to the planet. So it's kind of like, yeah, you've taken 2 steps forward, but like 1 step back.
And
Yeah, and the issue with like generating electricity to charge EVs is like everyone kind of goes, yes, they're going to be generating that electricity with coal, right? Everybody who likes to
yes and no.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody who likes to criticize like EVs, like immediately always goes to the, yeah, but like you're generating that with coal. No. Maybe a portion of that, depending on how you want your your country's energy sort of generation to sort of to go about it, right? Like, but that energy can come in all different forms. But the other thing is, even if it is a coal power plant, right? If you make a brand new coal power plant, like, I'm not saying that this is a good thing, right? I'm just saying that if you're making a coal power plant this day and age, you can make one that's extremely efficient. It's still going to belch out like a ton of greenhouse gases. That's going to, do a ton to basically, continue global warming, all that kind of stuff, right? Climate change, blah, 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 right? But what it will do is it will generate energy fairly efficiently compared to, old school fucking old ass, like, coal generation power plants, or, a, for example, if you take a modern coal generating power plant, right, and the energy that it produces, you put that into batteries, and then put the energy from those batteries into EVs. The resulting range that you'll get from that amount of energy is going to be more efficient at the end of the line of that than it would be if you had just a petrol driven car or a diesel driven car. Because you're talking about an engine which is only the size of like what? Not exactly that big, right? And when you have to like fit an engine into a small space, you have to make savings in space that affect your efficiency, right? When you don't have restrictions in sizes in order to fit something into a certain like small space, like say, for example, the front of a car, then you can up the efficiency of something. So when you have like a massive power plant that's burning fossil fuels, you can make it very efficient. When you shrink something like that down into something that fits in the front of a car, yeah, we've spent a long fucking time, making the tech that's in like petrol driven cars and diesel driven cars and that kind of stuff very, very good. But at the end of the day, it still has to fit into the front of a car. And so it's still going to have those efficiency losses. So that's kind of in my head. That's where the argument lies when it comes to sort of EVs being powered by coal power plants versus people driving on petrol-driven cars. It's like, yeah, fair enough, but you still have a much more efficient kind of system, even with the EV, than you have with a petrol-driven car. The only thing is that petrol as a substance is really energy dense, and that's fucking awesome. Like that's a really awesome thing as a like a very handy sort of thing to sort of be able to transport and to allow something like a car to go long distances. We just don't have that at the moment with batteries, or at least not as if like you look at the amount of energy that's in like one liter or one sort of cubic, like, I don't know, you're not going to put a cubic meter of petrol into something and you're going to have a cubic meter of EVs like energy cells, right? But like if you did, you'd find that the power density or the energy density in 1 cubic meter of EV battery cells is like a lot less than 1 cubic meter of petrol or gas, right?
Yes.
It's just that's the reality of it, and we just need to have more R&D put into batteries to kind of get it closer to that, and then things will be a lot better.
Yeah, you have that, and then the other challenge you have is because in the US we have a lot of large tractor trailers that drag stuff across the country, right? So, and because of that, right, and you look at the weight restrictions on those vehicles, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you begin to convert those to be an electric tractor trailer, right, the amount of battery mass that you need cuts down on the amount of stuff you can now move with the truck.
Yeah, it
right?
becomes
you're chopping out.
It starts to become not really that viable.
Yeah, and that's
and that's understandable.
the density, that's the density factor that you're talking about, right?
Exactly.
So there's good and bad in each of those, that energy density factor. The other thing that you mentioned about power plants is actually a really big deal. And
oh yeah,
so
definitely.
when the U.S. decided, they didn't want coal powered plants anymore, right? We made a federal restriction on them that if one of your generator turbines or whatever, coal fired, whatever, breaks and you need to replace it, you can't just no, you're not allowed to, with a more efficient version of it, right? You could do the cleaner version of it, right? When you replace it, you weren't allowed to do that unless you replaced all of your generation facilities with the same thing, right? So instead of getting that incremental, better, more clean, more efficient thing, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot by trying to force ourselves to go another direction, right?
Yeah,
and then the funny thing is, other direction, and they say, oh yeah, that's not clean anymore either, right? Natural gas, it's way cleaner than coal, but you're not allowed to use it because it's still dirty.
I mean, it still produces greenhouse gases.
Move the goalposts. We just keep moving the goalposts, right?
Yeah.
And
I mean, at the end of the day, you can argue sort of you can argue margins, right? Like, because people you also have those people who kind of come up with the arguments of but in order to make those EVs, in order to make those batteries, you have a whole bunch of energy usage and a whole bunch of all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Additional compared to just making a petrol driven car or a diesel driven car, right? And so those have to be factored into how much fossil fuels an EV ends up generating, right? Or how much fossil fuel emissions, sorry.
So which goalposts are we moving?
Oh, he's here.
Oh my God.
I thought maybe you might get caught in the blizzard that's coming, but you're okay. Hey, buddy. Goalpost wise, we were just talking about EVs.
He muted himself. I think.
No, I think he had to quickly talk about something. But yeah, goalpost wise.
Okay.
What were you saying there, Eric?
That's we move the goalpost, right? We say this is good, this is bad, then all of a sudden the good is now bad, right? When we've achieved getting to the good, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, and when you look at it, and I'm a very pro solar power guy, I like it, but producing solar cells is one of the dirtiest things that you can do. The water wastage on that is huge, right?
Water wastage on that is pretty bad. But then again, you also have places like China that are just creating so much solar stuff.
Well, and the number of coal-fired plants they fire up on an annual basis is just insane. And
I mean, they have a lot, but in terms of percentage,
still
it's actually
more.
Quite low. It is.
Sorry, guys,
low.
I'm having some headset issues.
It's not low. If the rest of the world generated no fossil fuel fallout,
I'm saying
the stuff coming out of China would still be too high.
Yeah, as an absolute kind of reading, as an absolute kind of statistic. Yes, you're right there. What I was talking about was percentages, the percentage of coal powered stuff compared to non fossil based or cleaner fossil based stuff in China it's actually shrinking quite significantly. But as you say, in terms of absolute numbers, China is still
the
leader.
It's
pretty much.
They generate, according to the latest stats, I think 31.8% of global carbon dioxide emissions.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at the U.S., who's number 2, we generate 14.4.
Yeah.
The EU is 4.9. India is 9.5. Wow.
India is coming on strong at the minute.
Yeah. They're trying to sort of bring it back into the fold because they've been for example, I think I read that they were actually they've been turning around and actually replacing a lot of their a lot of their rail network. And to be fair, like when you're talking about India, like India has like a pretty significant rail network system, and it does a sizable amount of lifting when it comes to sort of routing everything around. They rely
got a lot of
on
population there.
They have a lot of population. They have a lot of like industry that needs to move stuff. So like, and a lot of that is done on rail. And they have been removing their sort of old diesel and basically petroleum based trains with electric trains.
All trains are fully electric.
Not in some places like India and stuff, but they are
really. I mean, in the U.S., you've got a diesel generator on them, right? But they're electric driven.
Strange. there's a lot of trains around still that are still running directly on diesel.
Coal? Any coal-fired ones?
There's a few, but they're basically just like they're just for novelty. I think
we keep a few heritage rail lines that are running steam trains and stuff still. Yeah.
I think we've got a couple too
for things like Hogwarts trips and such things, right? Like
absolutely,
like it's literally just novelty stuff.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
In moderation.
Anyway, hold on. I got to check something here real quick.
Okay, while you're checking all of that, Dirk, how you doing, dude? Like,
yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm sorry I'm late.
Right. Better late than never.
I was running a little bit late getting home, and then got distracted with some stuff before the storm coming in. Because we are set to get some pretty heavy weather over the next couple days.
You're gonna get like a bunch of snow.
Last time I was looking at the forecast, we were getting something like 12 inches of snow accumulation over the next 2 days, something like that.
Which in some areas of the world is like fucking easy street, but in the UK that's actually quite a fucking lot.
Well, I'm currently in rural North Yorkshire, so we kind of know what we're doing with snow around here to an extent.
I guess that's true.
But it is the sort of thing where if you don't have to go out, you don't really want to at the same time. So yeah.
You make the trips out to be necessary.
Exactly. You get stuff in before before the weather hits, and you sort of ride it out unless you need to.
Unless it is one of those like I want to frolic in the snow kind of situations. Whereas in that case, like you're not driving, you're literally like taking the dog for the walk, or like you're going out with a sled, or cold weather stuff to throw snowballs about.
I really don't envy the guys who are out working on the power grids and stuff. Will still have to be getting out and about and dealing with any power cuts that happen and what have you. They are doing some real work during these events. So but hopefully it'll be just nice and smooth for us. And
I feel for Bard being stuck at the side of the road with an EV that has no energy anymore.
Is that where he is?
Just looking at the horizon coming at him with like knowing that that's just a blanket of snow that's going to be just covering him,
and a brand new one as well. I
know, right? Like
it's awful that he's picking up these vehicles that just don't seem to be doing it for him.
Well, I think he's just. I mentioned this on the show a little earlier, but like, I think it's just he's new to EVs, so he's like he hasn't got his like, his legs in on like understanding, when you need to like really be looking for those charging ports. I think he was like, he he looked down and he was like, oh, I've got 10% left, so I think that's still fine. Like, I can get home with that. And then he looked down, it was like 2%. It's like, oh, crap. So, yeah, I think I that's my summation as to what happened with Bard this week. But despite what he's actually said in chat, or not in this chat, but in like our Discord chat.
Well, he said he might be home in an hour, like an hour and a half ago. So, you know,
yeah, he's stuck on the road.
He's definitely got stuck, hasn't he? He's just
yes. I think so.
He's going to be found frozen in his fancy new EV in 2 days' time.
Because do remind him that when those batteries get cold, they don't quite have the range they do when it's warm.
Well, I was going. He'll say something along the lines of, "Well, I was going on the official statistics that I saw in the advert." Like, why would you do such a thing?
Surely they wouldn't lie in the adverts.
Hey, I mean, I
know it was a Peugeot that he got, but like he could have gone even worse on that and got a VW EV and gone on the statistics that they said.
I mean, lies, damn lies, and statistics.
Yep.
That's bad.
But yeah, you wanted to talk diplomatic tension.
Well,
Mac, I think.
mean,
if we've got a few minutes,
that to you because I thought that might trigger you in terms of like, well, I best fucking get on the show then. But
well,
yeah,
no,
how are you feeling?
It was
about
really
that?
just. It was really just I got distracted with stuff, and so
That's
yeah.
right.
Oh, you got distracted with stuff. Oh, you're just ignoring us as a show. Oh, thanks.
I know how that feels. Like you finally get home and then like people there are just like, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? Or like, here's there, and like you get kind of involved with some stuff.
But yeah, no. I think it's interesting at the minute. Obviously, we just had the INIT Goon reset. I haven't actually seen anything to confirm if PandaFam have done their reset yet, but they were rumored to be doing such a thing.
According to Reddit, INIT's just not showing how neutral they are to goons yet. Well, they're not doing it enough.
There's at least a few structures that I know of that are owned by a Goon Swarm squad that were refed by INIT in the first 12 hours.
But
so, if that's not them showing their independence, I don't know what might be.
Dirk, that's just not enough. Like that's not enough to quell the crowds on Reddit. Like,
we were absolutely not going to end up fighting each other. Of course, that was never going to happen. We're all still great friends.
You mean there hasn't there hasn't immediately been a 6 trillion-esque kind of war that suddenly sparked?
Hey, I mean, that money just
immediately
isn't necessarily out there at the minute. I mean, CCP have really got in on the money making, and they've put a damper on it. So 6 trillion is a large ask, isn't it?
It is, unless you have a fucking literal army of bots in Hockven making fuck tons of money for you. But then you have to deal with CCP coming around and every so often banning all of them, and so you have to rebuild them with the literal mountains of fucking ISK that you've made out of them.
Yeah, I'm just sort of scrolling Reddit to kind of see where things have been for the last couple of days.
There's been a lot of memes, and I think the thing is people have put the memes up, and then people have kind of in the chat. The corresponding chat to those memes, there have been people who have been very much clutching their pearls and, being very, very angry and salty and very tearful about the fact that, PandaFam and Horde are really showing that they're neutral, and that, you know, clearly INIT and goons need to, like, you know, go at it with like dreads and supers and titans to really show that they're actually neutral.
I've got to say, I did see this one that I quite liked, which is hardly a surprise because it's from SEMA. But yeah, the nullsec player trades that will be taking place in the coming days, obviously. SEMA's going to Horde as Chief Clown.
Chief Clown.
Brave is getting Brisk Rubal as Director of Information and Propaganda.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, let me show that up on the screen.
You know, decided not quite at the barbecue, but hey, I look forward to seeing the player trades happen, and we'll obviously have to take this as one of the key aspects of all of the resets. You know, yeah. If SEMA says it, it must be true, right?
Oh, that is how I see it. It has not, like, served me wrong in any way, shape, or form over the years.
It would never. SEMA is a bastion, and bastion of truth and paragon of virtue. Absolutely.
Never a foot wrong.
No,
amazing.
No, Starscream. I heard that there was a new quarterback acquired, and Brisk was upset about it, so he's actually asked to be traded to the Eagles.
I feel for you for Blurkers becoming a skirmish commander. I love the dude. Never fails to bring the fucking content. But yes. It just sucks that, like, I'm very rarely in a position to be going on, you know, 3-hour straight up fleets when he's, you know, in USTZ doing such things.
I've just found a thread that I want to come back to and potentially talk about next week when we've got some more time.
Show up. Okay.
It's well, depending on the weather, I might be snowed in.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Which means, you know, all you gotta do is turn on your fucking computer and get in the show. But yeah, I know it's hard.
I mean, at least I still have a computer.
I know. Well, I'm on the laptop, but you know, I'm not gonna quite do everything I could do on that shit.
I was going to say that you know, that depends entirely on whether you have power.
Don't jinx it.
What? You don't have a backup generator for crying out loud? Really?
Not in the house. Jesus.
Well, mine's not in the house either. It's outside. It just powers them.
Yeah, and then you have to go outside.
No, you don't. It automatically turns on. Power goes out, generator goes on, house has power. It's that easy.
I was going to say, and such is the necessity if you live in Texas. Like, you don't live in Texas, but like
I don't live in Texas.
That is how you have to deal with life in Texas. It's like, well, I'm not gonna have, like, you know, people from the government come and fix things for a while, so I'm just gonna have to get a generator.
Yeah, so here at Cassidy Asmock, we have solar power, regular power from the curb, and backup generator. We do. And in fact, we even have backup network.
I think that was one of the very few kind of situations or reasons why I was like, you know what, like, getting Starlink might actually be kind of pretty clutch, because, like, if power goes off, I would still have power in the solar cells, and the only issue with, like, connectivity would be if the power goes out, then all the substations will probably go out as well in terms of like communications and stuff, fiber and all that jazz, as well as probably all the mobile network. Well, mobile maybe not so much, because like mobile
mobile
kind of
tends to have its own generators.
Yeah, they tend to see it as a critical emergency infrastructure as well, right? So
yeah,
maybe not that much, but I thought to myself, like, well, I'm not going to get like fiber broadband stuff carrying on even in a fucking, in a power cut. But like, if my internet's going straight to a satellite, then like that'll be fine. Like that'll work.
Yeah. Mine goes to a 5G network automatically. My router will just switch to it if it loses
That's cool.
the main network. But yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
Do I just go get Starlink, right? I'm sitting there going, do I just get it out there in the back, right, and just have it? The
thing is with Starlink,
it's a little pricey for a standby.
It's pricey for a standby for sure. Like the thing with Starlink being used as like as a general all-purpose kind of thing is like, yeah, it may have the throughput, but the latency issue is like still a big thing. Big problem.
Yeah, it's not the sort of thing that you're going to end up playing like shooters on generally.
You'll feel a big difference between like standard like terrestrial like networking kind of thing and something like Starlink. You'll really feel the difference when playing games and doing anything that requires a degree of response.
My thing is, don't they have it set up now that they're testing regular handheld cell phones with Starlink now?
Yeah, but that's fine. Like
that'd be cool as shit
that's
too.
Okay. That's an okay kind of like use case for it as well.
Can you believe we're on a 3-minute fucking ad break with 2 minutes left in the fucking show?
Oh my god,
that's really
that's
God damn.
I have ideas of how to like make this less of a fucking ball ache for everybody and to like content creators like us. Like, but yeah, I think part of the reason why Twitch does it this way is to be a fucking pain in the ass for people, so that people kind of go, well, maybe I should probably do this, or maybe I should do that, and pay money in order to actually, not have these issues. But when you're a content creator and you're like, I can't, fucking stop this from happening every so often. It'd be nice if they did things like the way that programming was done, on TV when they had like things.
By the way, Mrs. Erik is in here. Mrs. Erik is in here sneaking around, trying to be super quiet, trying to find batteries for something. like looking like, oh my god, I'm trying to be quiet while you guys are streaming. Blah, blah, blah.
Well, she's doing good because we didn't hear her.
She can't find the size battery that she wants, and she can't find it. She's upset. Oh, she flipped me off. Can you believe that? Got some batteries there, dear?
That vibrator is going to remain unused.
Oh, I'm going to tell her you said that. God. Holy shit. Oh my God. You're going to be in the fucking doghouse. Holy shit. My daughter's now in the doorway. Oh, Dad's swearing, and she's laughing at me. She's like, I'm going to come over there and hit you.
Oh, God.
Eric's just like bringing in the family for the show.
That lovely comment was just for our subscribers.
We got to give them something special. Exactly. Right? They got to get something special.
Exactly.
Right, yeah. She did. I'm going to tell her. I am going to tell her what you said because it's going to be freaking hilarious. I can't say it with the daughter around, but I'll tell her later tonight.
It's like, yes, the internet heard that particular comment, by the way.
That's funny. That's funny. By the way, she was looking for AA batteries, and she did eventually find them. So that's, by the way, probably one of the controllers.
Yeah. By the way, Dirk, the just linking this in staff only chat for you, but like I think we found Fluffy's mining setup, high-sec mining setup.
Oh yeah, yeah. We did review that earlier.
His home setup, by the way, for mining in high-sec.
I might take a look at this. Oh no, this isn't Fluffer. This is Divine.
Is this Divine's? Oh, my bad. Okay, so all right, so Divine. This is Divine's.
This is how Divine is controlling his his fleet of 15 freighters or whatever the fuck it is that he runs around all at once.
Yeah, that's a setup right there.
You know, you'd think with that many monitors, you wouldn't need like a hoodie. You'd be warm enough. But okay,
yeah,
whatever.
I mean,
yeah, those computers should be pumping out a fucking lot of heat. Like even with those.
Yeah.
And if it's not those, then those displays should be pumping out the heat as well.
Oh yeah, that's not a cold setup.
Exactly. Anyway, as Dirk has just come in, do you have a one last thing that you didn't you wanted to have a quickly mentions that you couldn't mention in the rest of the show?
I don't know. I hope everyone had a good New Year. I had a pretty chill one. And yeah,
did you have an unconscious one?
Well, it was pretty chill.
So that doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like you've denying that.
I'm not confirming it either.
I'm neither confirming.
Everybody out there can read into that whatever they want. Yep. Everybody out there can read into what they want.
And other than that, I think it's early days yet for this reset. We'll see how long it lasts. I think, quite frankly, Panda Fam maybe have got their big fights in early so that then they can say, well, look, we did it for a bit, and we had some big fights, and they'll be back to being blues again within a couple of months. Whereas INIT and Goons tend to have a bit more of a reliable perspective on how these things go. So, I think ours will last probably through the balance of the year, unless somebody kicks something off significantly. I think it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on. But, for to say it's been 3 days, there's still plenty of time for big fights to happen, and I hope they do. We need more. We need more brawling. We need more cap stuff to go. But of course, we have to remember the economics of it as well. Caps are not as cheap or meaningless as they once were to throw about and give CCP some headlines with major brawls. So, if CCP are listening, hey, when we don't have to spend so much on the caps, we get to use them a lot more.
Unless you just have epic
just something to think about.
Yeah, unless you have epic amounts of ISK that you can just buy the materials from, say somebody like Divine.
Like Divine. Who is probably out there mining a moon right now.
So yeah, that is also a very good point. I don't know particularly what thing you wanted to discuss as such. We'll leave that confirm or deny for next week as such. There was a topic that I was hoping to discuss a little more today. But such as it is, that'll probably we can punt that till next week, and hopefully this is the same topic as well. But if I just give you a little preview as to what that topic might be, it is something that was queued by Reddit to some degree, but the if you had to choose, do you delete Pogfin or do you delete multiboxing?
This is not what I want to. What I'm gonna do some reviewing of and talk about next week. But
okay, so we've got two topics then. We've got two potential topics then. Cool. I like that. So next week,
That's
a tricky one. I'll have to consider that.
Yeah, exactly. So there's been some conversation, obviously, in that Reddit in that Reddit thread. But we'll have some, interesting conversations about that and about which the topic that you want to bring up as well. So, Erik, any final last things?
No, I just hope everybody has a wonderful 2025. Hopefully it's going to be a great year for everyone, and we look forward to being here every weekend with everyone.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh, okay then. Right, everybody. Thank you very much for chilling with us, and have a good weekend. Have a good start to the to 2025, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.